Violence erupts in Mexico after the killing of a drug cartel kingpin, leaving airports and resorts in lockdown.
Joining us now, Fox 5's Salvador Rivera to explain the very latest. Salvador, good morning, and thank you for being here in the morning with us. Let's talk about, for those who may not be familiar, who was El Mencho?
El Mencho is actually a criminal who got his start in Northern California, of all places. He was convicted several times. Eventually, in the mid-90s, he got deported, ended up in the heart of Mexico in the little town in Jalisco, and he became a police officer, of all things. And eventually he got in with the wrong crowd, started figuring out how things were working out. So he partners up with someone and they formed their own little gang. And eventually they hook up with the Sinaloa cartel back then. Then as Chapo starts to go away, they decided, well, let's create our own cartel. And this was the birth of Cartel Jalisco New Generation, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. And they started working with the Sinaloa cartel, but then they started getting just powerful. They created their own sort of inroads, and they were the first to start posting videos on YouTube. Their assassinations, their kidnappings, they would line up, hundreds of them in their fatigues, with their weapons and their masks. They started using social media. And they started to recruit, and they got big, really big, to the point where they became the largest cartel ever. As far as dominance, territory-wise, they were the biggest ever.
So what will his death mean now? Is that what we're seeing right now across Mexico, with the eruption all over Mexico, what we're seeing?
Well, remember, they're so powerful. They control a bunch of territory like northwest of Mexico City, the states of Jalisco, Guerrero, Michoacán, portions of Zacatecas, Colima. So they're huge. So in their big territories, the city of Guadalajara, Puerto Vallarta, where we're seeing a lot of people stranded now, they are retaliating. They're taking revenge on the populace. They're saying, okay, Mexican government, you took down our guy, we're gonna make life really hectic for you and the citizens of this country. This is something that we saw when they arrested El Mayo Zambada a few years ago in Sinaloa. The city of Culiacan was taken siege by these people. And for years, it was just, you do not go out at night. Wow. Businesses shut down, restaurants shut down, a lot of schools shut down, and it was horrible for citizens because they couldn't go on with their lives because of the violence, the threats. Like if you were out in the street after dark, we'll take you out and nobody's gonna care. It's horrible.
Was it the Mexican government that was involved in the killing of El Mencho? Was the U.S. forces involved? How did this all come about?
We all agree that U.S. provided surveillance information, critical surveillance tracking of El Mencho. We know that. What we don't agree on is what was the involvement. As we know, a SEAL team was sent to Mexico about 2 weeks ago. And they were going down there for training purposes. But now we're hearing that perhaps they were involved in this shootout, but then we hear that they were not. I think in the coming days, we'll find out exactly what happened and what extent of their involvement was.
Yeah, and then even weeks before that, Salvador, they had issued, the United States has already issued a travel warning advisory to Americans traveling to many parts of Mexico, and despite it, many Americans still will travel. And you would think you're going to these touristy places that you're safe. You're going to go onto a resort and you'll be okay. Well, now we got a bunch of Americans who are stuck there.
Well, guilty as charged, because we went down there about a month and a half ago to the state of Guerrero, Zihuatanejo, Ixtapa. And that's one of the states that they tell you to avoid at all costs. And it's funny because you get down there and there's a lot of Canadians and you see them on the beach or at a restaurant and they set up their little Canadian flag as to say, hey, we're Canadian, we're not American. And so that's what's going on. A lot of people, myself included, we tend to ignore these warnings. But on days like today and perhaps into the coming weeks, I think it's something that we have to take seriously. If you ask me, would I travel in the coming days or coming weeks? Likely not. But if my flight's still going and I hear that the hotel's open, I may take the chance. But just because I feel safer down there, because I've been down there a lot, and I think I know the layout and kind of know how to talk to cops and other people. But for the most part, I would say I kind of stay home if you can for now.
Changing your
until
travel.
we find out what's going to
I
happen.
was telling
yes.
you, a friend of mine is down in Puerto Vallarta right now with her kids. And what we don't think about is that when there is something like this that happens, she said that the hotel is starting to run out of food. Everybody's on lockdown. They're not letting anybody go and come in. So that can be scary for families when you're traveling with kids. And then not to mention the video coming out of the airport in Guadalajara. You're just sitting in the airport getting ready to catch a flight. That was terrifying.
Yeah, I think Guadalajara is a big hub, so a lot of flights going through southern Mexico and other parts go through Guadalajara, Mexico City. So yeah, it can be terrifying. You got to go back to work. You're on lockdown. You got kids. And what do you do? And Heather, we were talking a little bit ago. But does the hotel charge you for the extra nights, the extra meals? What happens then? Can you afford it? And so there is a big domino effect, a lot of repercussions that take place for people who are down there right now. And the threat of being kidnapped, that is huge, and then it's a lot.
Is this really going to make a change in cartels and drugs coming into the U.S.?
I remember in like 2002, remember the Arellano Felix cartel, which was based primarily in Tijuana, northern Baja. And Benjamin was killed in a shootout, one of the brothers down in interior Mexico. No, I'm sorry, Benjamin was arrested. Ramon was killed in the shootout. And we thought, oh my God, take them out, it's over. No. Unfortunately, another snake will rise. They'll take over. There might be some infighting because this cartel is huge. There's going to be maybe like a little civil war.
Like who's the next
but
leader?
eventually, someone will rise up and take over. And I think this flow of drugs will continue for a long time.
It's unfortunate, and I know a lot of people right now, they've all been posting the videos that they're seeing at our own border. So should there be any fear for all of these people that travel? You know, we have thousands of people that travel from our border into work, and what should they be looking at today, this week?
I think right now, yesterday there were about 7 incidents in Tijuana. Cars set on fire. There was stores, 7-Eleven type stores, Oxxos. One was set on fire. There was an attempt to set up torch a supermarket. Luckily, the employees were able to put out that fire. But and from what I understand this morning, it's fairly calm. So people are going to work, going on with their business. They are being told, unless you really have to go out, don't. And so schools are shut down. But if you do have to cross the border, because we're okay here for the most part, you got to get to work. You got to, pay the bills, and you got to take that chance that something could happen. And luckily, nobody's been hurt so far, but there's no guarantee. These guys are mad. And they're going to retaliate, and they're going to take it out on someone. And often the easiest targets are the persons who are just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.